Rishus Harabanim, all those who assembled, first of all, Yeshikach to Rabbi Zalmanov for helping organize all of us and help bring us here this evening. It is bittersweet. On the one hand, it is in some ways a schus to have so many Rabbanim here, and we welcome you into the Beis Knesses. Unfortunately, it's for a sad occasion, and unfortunately sometimes it takes a tzara to bring us all together. We are here tonight to mourn as well as to comfort. All of Klal Yisrael in a certain way are Avelim, and yet there are those in this room who are closer to the tzara who need comfort as well. And we're here tonight to ask and to question what happened in the past, and also to take a resolve to the future. It's very easy for us in this room to say that we'll take a resolve to go forward, we'll continue. What were we doing beforehand? We'll continue, this is not going to stop us. It's very difficult to put the roles that we play in our day-to-day lives up with those who are on the other side of the world, whether it's for kashrus, for kiruv. But as we question, we also need to take resolve. Rabbi Soloveitchik pointed out that the famous pasuk, Keli, Keli, Lama Azavtani, my God, why have you abandoned me? Should be read perhaps not Lama Azavtani, why have you abandoned me, but Le Ma, for what? Towards what goal, towards what aim? And I think if there's one question that we have to ask ourselves as we think tonight about those who lost their lives, it is a question of who shall make up for all of the mitzvos that they are unable to do now in this world. Shai Agnon, the Israeli Nobel laureate, wrote that the purpose of Kaddish is to pray to God that the Kiddush Hashem that every Jew makes, any single Jew, every Jew makes a Kiddush Hashem. Every Jew is responsible for mitzvot. And when a Jew falls, when a soldier falls, we're left with almost nothing but to daven and say, Yitkadel v'yitkadei shemer haba. I hope your name is sanctified. Please make sure your name is sanctified, even though this person isn't here. The loss of every single Jew is a tremendous loss of mitzvot. But if you have Jews who are dedicated day and night to helping other Jews, to Torah and to mitzvos, it puts a tremendous responsibility on everybody here. If there were so many people going for meals on Shabbos, who's going to make up for that in Shemayim? And the answer has to fall tonight as we sit here, has to fall on every one of us. The point of this evening is not to feel sad. It's to feel responsible. To make up. To cover. If everybody here has an extra guest this Shabbat and next Shabbat, we will begin to make up for what we've lost as a people. But we can't put the responsibility on anyone else. The goal is truly to be inspired by the lives of those who are murdered, to learn from them, and to let their memory be a Kiddush Hashem and be an inspiration to us. And we should try to be better Jews. We should try to be better people. We should try to be reaching out more for those who no longer can. Again, thank you very much to Rabbi Zalmanov, to all the Rabbanim who have come to be part of the program tonight. I'm really just here to welcome you all into our shul on behalf of the Young Israel of Holliswood, and we'll now let the program formally begin. Otherwise.
Thank you, Rabbi Penner, for opening your synagogue, your shul, to the community so that we can, as a community, express a verb in the singular. The Torah in Shmot Perek Yud Tet, chapter 19, speaks of Bnei Israel gathering at Har Sinai, and it says, Vayichan Sham Yisrael Neged Hahar. Usually the verb is Vayachanu. They gathered, they encamped in the plural. But here the Torah says Vayichan. They gathered as one. And Rashi says that's rare. And when a people that sometimes is divided gathers as one, it is worthy of recognition. And so thank you to Rabbi Penner for allowing us to express our avelut with a verb in the singular. Of course, we so often express our grief, our pain, and our hope through the words of Tehillim. And a number of the Rabbanim in the community will honor us in leading Tehillim. Texts are being distributed. The first one we should have is Mima Makim Kuf Lamed. I'd ask you please to rise. Shir Hama'alot Mima Makim Karaticha Adonai Adonai Shima Vekoli Tiyana Oznecha Kashuvo Lekol Tachanunai Him avonot tishmaria Adonai mi yamod Ki imecha haslicha leman tivarei Kiviti Adonai kiveta nafshi velidvaro hochalti Nafshi l'Adonai mishomrim laboker, shomrim laboker. Yachel Yisrael el Adonai, ki im Adonai achesed v'harbe imo fedut. Veho yifte et Yisrael mikol avonotav. Rabbi Nasirov will lead us in Yoshev B'Seter Elyon.
יושב בסתר עליון, בצל שדי יתלונן. אומר לאדוני מחסי ומצודתי, אלוהי אפתח בו. כי הוא יצילך מפח יקוש מדבר אבות. בעברתו יסך לך, ותחת כנפיו תחסה, צינה וסוחרה אמיתו. לא תירא מפחד לילה, מחץ יעוף יומם. מדבר באופל יהלוך, מקדם ישוט צהריים. יפול מצידך אלף, ורבבה מימינך, אליך לא ייגש. רק בעיניך תביט, בשלומת רשעים תראה. כי אתה אדוני יחסי עליון שמת מעונך לא תאונה אליך רעה ונגע לא יקרב באהליך כי מלאכיו יצווה לך לשמורך בכל דרכיך על כפיים יישאונך פן תגוף באבן רגליך על שחל ופתן תדרוך תרמוס כפיר ותנין כי בחשק והפלתהו וסגבהו כי ידע שמי יקראני ואענהו עמו אנוכי וצרה חלצהו ואכבדהו אורך ימים אשביעהו והרהו בישועתי
Rabbi Kogan, the Hillcrest Jewish Center, will lead us in Michtam LeDavid.
מכתם לדוד שומרני אל כי חסיתי בך אמרת לאדוני אדוני אתה טובתי בעל עליך לקדושים אשר בארץ המה ואדירי כל חפצי בם ירבו עצבותם אחר מהרו בעל הסיכניס קיים מדם ובעל עשה את שמותם על שפתי אדוני מנת חלקי וחוסי אתה תומיך גורלי חבלים נפלו לי בנעימים אף נחלת שפרה עליי אברך את אדוני אשר יצאני אף לילות יסרוני חיליותי שיביתי אדוני לנגדי תמיד כי מימיני בעל אמות לכן שמח ליבי ויגל כבודי אף בשרי ישכון לבטח כי לא תעזוב נפשי לשאול לא תיתן חסידך לראות שחת תודיעני אורח חיים סובה שמחות את פניך נעימות במנך הנצח
Rabbi Yerachmiel Zalmanov of the Chabad of Eastern Queens will lead us in Kuf Yud Tet.
We're going to say the words, the letters of Neshama from Kuf Yud Tet. נר לרגלי דבריך ואור לנתיבתי נשבעתי ואקיימה לשמור משפטי צדקך נעניתי עד מאוד אדוני חייני כדבריך נדבות פי
ארצה אדוני ומשפטיך למדני. נפשי בכפי תמיד ותורתך לא שכחתי. נתנו רשעים מפח לי ומפיקודיך לא טעיתי. נחלתי עדבותיך לעולם כי ששון ליבי המה. נתיתי ליבי לעשות חוקיך לעולם עקב. שרים רדפוני חינם ומדברך פחד ליבי. שש אנוכי על אמרתך כמוצא שלל רב. שקר שנאתי ותאווה תורתך אהבתי. שבע ביום היללתיך על משפטי צדקך. שלום רב לא אוהבי תורתך ואין אלמו מכשול. סיברתי לישועתך אדוני ומצוותיך עשיתי. שמרה נפשי עד עדותיך ואוהבם מאוד. שמרתי פיקודיך ועדותיך כי כל דרכי נגדך. מה אהבתי תורתך כל היום היא שיחתי. מאויבי תחכמני מצוותיך כי לעולם היא לי. מכל מלמדי השכלתי כי עדבותיך שיחה לי. מזקנים אדבונן כי פיקודיך נצרתי. מכל אורח רע קליתי רגלי למען אשמור דבריך. משפטיך לא סרתי כי אתה הורתני. מה נמלצו לחיקי אמרתך מדבש לפי. פיקודיך אתבונן על כנס שנאתי כל אורח שקר. הורני אדוני דרך חוקיך וצורנה עקב. אביננה בתורת תורתך ושמרנה בכל הלב. הדרכני בנתיב מצוותיך כי בו חפצתי. את ליבי אל עדבותיך ועל אל בצע. עבר עיני מראות שווה בדרכיך חייני. הקמל לעבדך אמרתך אשר ליראתך. העבר חרפתי אשר יגורתי כי משפטיך טובים. הנה תאהבתי לפיקודיך בצדקתך חייני.
Again, L'Shem Achdut in Nusach Ashkenaz and Nusach Svarad, the Malay, be chanted by Rabbi Menachem Shagalov of Boulevard Aleph, and Hashkava by Rabbi Nasirov.
Lemole Rachamim Shoyechein Bameroyemim Dayan Almonoi Svavi Yesoimim Hametzei Menuchonechoyeno Kanefei Hashechino Shimotehoirim Kezoyare Horokia Mazihirim Lenishmoiseihem Shel Rav Gabriel Noyach Ve'arabonis Rifika Will Reb Aryeh Leib Teitelbaum, Will Reb Ben Zion Korman, Umaras Yocheved Arpaz, Umaras Ruchama Schwarzblatt Rabinovich, Hashem Yinekoi Medomom, Sheneregu V'necheneku Chayim, Alekidush Hashem Kulam Kedoshim Oteoyerim Ki Arezei Alevonoin Ve'adireh Ve'atoyero Lochen Baal Horachamim Yasetirehem Beseiser Kenafov Leolamim Veyitzeroi Rebitzeroi Rachaim Esenishmo Yiseyem Adoinoi Nachalosom Yizekoi Rakedosom V'samoy Delonu Ulechol Yisroi Letzidekosom Eretz Aletecha Sidomom V'yal Yehi Mokoim Lezakosom Bizechusom Yoshuvu Nidechei Yisrael Lachuzosom V'yakedoshim Lezicheroin Tomid Neged Adoinoi Yamedu Legoirolom Yovoyu Shaloim V'yanuchu al Mishkevoisom V'yakumu l'keitz hayomim l'chayo yisom V'noeh marom Amen.
El Nekamod Adonai El Nekamod Ofia Inase Shofet Haaretz Hashem Gemul Al-Geim Ad Matai Reshaim אדוני, עד מתי רשעים יעלוזו? הרנינו גויים עמו, כי דם עבדיו יקום ונקם ישיב לצריו, וכיפר על מתו עמו. מה יקר חסדך אלוהים, בצל כנפיך יחסיון, ירוויון מדשן ביתך ונחלת דניך תשכם. טוב שם משמן טוב, ביום המוות מיום היוולדו. סוף דבר הכל ישמע, את האלוהים ירא ואת אותו שמור, כי זה כל האדם. יעלזו חסידים בכבוד, ירננו על משכבותם, האל המרחם על כל בריאותיו, הוא יחוס ויחמול וירחם על נפש ונשמה של הנפשות הקדושות והטהורות שמסרו נפשם למען קידוש השם, אוהבי חסד, אוהבי צדקה, בעלי הכנסת אורחים, בראשם כבוד הרב הצעיר, הרב רבי גבריאל והרבנית רבקה, רוח השם תנחם בגן עדן, השם ינקום דמם, והמנוח רבי אריה לייב טייטלבום, רבי בן ציון קורמן, מרד יוכבד הרפז, מרד נורמה שוורצבלד, השם ינקום רבינוביץ', השם ינקום דמם. מלך מלכי המלכים ברחמיו יחוס עליהם, עליהם יש שלום ועל משכבם יש שלום, כדכתיב יבוא שלום ינוחו על משכבותם. ארץ ארץ אל תכסי דמם, ואל יהי מקום לזעקתם, בזכותם ישוב נדחי סלע אחוזתם, ויעמדו לגורלם לקץ הימין, ונאמר אמן. השם ירחם עליהם מנוחתם בגן עדן, השם ינקום דמם.
You may be seated. It's a privilege to welcome to our community Benjamin Krasna, Deputy Consul General, representing Am Yisrael, Medinat Yisrael, the State of Israel, from our offices in New York.
Reshut Rabbanim, friends, in the last few days I've thought a great deal about the events of Mumbai, just like I'm sure all of you have, about the savagery, about the loss, and about the tremendous outpouring of support that's been witnessed from all corners of the earth. Just in the last week, tens if not hundreds of events have been held here in New York, New Jersey, throughout the United States and all over the world. And seeing us come together as one, of course, is one important legacy of those who gave their lives on Kiddush Hashem. As I've learned more and more of the stories of the Holtzbergs, I personally feel a strong sense of commonality with Rabbi Gavriel Zal and his family. Like he too left the warm confines of New York for a more challenging life. Like I, he too felt that picking up and going to faraway countries in the service of the Jewish people was his responsibility, his shlichut, his mission. And like I can only imagine that he too knew that in making these moves, there were also inherent risks for him and for his family. For there are still too many who in their distorted sense of beliefs believe that their way to salvation can somehow be paved by blood spattered all over an Israeli flag or a talit. In the foreign ministry compound in Yerushalayim, there's a courtyard of remembrance where all emissaries of the state of Israel killed overseas in the service of their country are memorialized. On the wall in that courtyard in Yerushalayim are inscribed the words of Yeshayahu, Malachei Shalom Ma'ariv Kayun, translated there as the ambassadors of peace are bitterly weeping. These ambassadors, Malachim, are indeed angels, Malachim. And today with all of us, the angels are weeping. Dear friends, today we gather to try to make sense of what we all witnessed far away in Mumbai. We're standing here in pain, we stand here in anger, and we stand here in a numb sense of disbelief at the sheer evil that seems to exist in the world. Israel buried 6 victims of the horrific massacre in India. 5 who lived in Israel, and 1 more who expected to move to Israel in the coming weeks, and unfortunately realized her wish in a most incomprehensible fashion. We mourn and pray for the memories of Reb Gabriel Holtzberg and his wife Rivka, of Reb Aryeh Leib Teitelbaum, of Ben Zion Kroman, of Yocheved Orpaz, and of Norma Schwarzblatt Rabinovich. We all mourn and pray for more than 170 people murdered by savages who can represent no God that we hold dear. And at times like this, we all search for answers. At times like this, we seek lessons that will somehow allow us to explain this to ourselves and to our children. It's at times like this that we stand in awe of the remarkable faith that man can show even at those most unfathomable dark times. How else can we explain the fact that when the rescuers finally entered the Chabad house, what they saw was the body of Rivki Holtzberg, covered by a talit, the traditional Jewish prayer shawl. The strength and conviction of her husband, Gavriel, who must have surmised at this point that his own death was likely imminent, to be able to observe at this point, at this moment, the sacred ritual, can only be embraced in the words of Tehillim that surely went through his head at the time. Gam ki elech begates al mavet, lo irara ki ata imadi, shivtecha u'mishantecha hema yinachamuni. At times like this, we can also embrace brave acts of human kindness. It's why we in the state of Israel have historically honored as righteous among the nations those non-Jews who protected Jews during the Holocaust. It's why there was such a tremendous outpouring of respect, admiration, and gratitude for Sandra Samuels, who risked her own life to protect the life of 2-year-old Moshe Holtzberg. She stands to all of us as a symbol of all that's good in man, and how in dark times, sometimes even the most basic human acts stand out and are not to be taken for granted. Last week, when Sandra Samuels was interviewed for the first time after her heroic acts, she was asked about her plans and whether or not she would accept the State of Israel's offer of citizenship. She replied that no. After 2 years of caring for Moshe, she will return to Mumbai. The reporter then asked what she would do there, and she responded that she will return to continue her work at the Chabad house. The journalist then persisted and said, how was she so sure that this tragedy and horror, that the Chabad house would return to function? She then responded that the Holtzbergs had a mission, and that Chabad will not be deterred from seeing it through, and she will be with them. She knows this is to be true. We all know this to be true. Yehi Zichram Baruch.
We thank our Deputy Consul General for his moving and thoughtful words. Wish to recognize the presence of David Weprin, representing the City of New York. And I have letters from Mark Weprin and from Rory Landsman, representing the State Assembly. I want to share with you Assemblyman Landsman's words. Please accept my apologies, dear Rabbi Zalmanov, please accept my apologies for not being with you today to remember the victims of the Mumbai terrorist attack. I am currently in Israel with Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver and a delegation of my legislative colleagues. I have the privilege of representing large Jewish and Indian communities. As you know, I also have a personal connection to Chabad dating back to my services with the neighborhood patrol during the Crown Heights riot. The appalling events in Mumbai remind us yet again of the danger Islamic fundamentalism poses to Jews everywhere, and indeed to the whole civilized world. Chabad is particularly vulnerable, as it is Chabad and its emissaries who are willing to go anywhere in the world where a Jewish presence is required. It is essential that the entire Jewish community rally to Chabad's side during this tragedy, and that we support Chabad in its mission to establish outposts of Judaism in the world's far-flung places, where Jews have as much right to live and work and travel as anyone else. It is equally essential that we strengthen our ties to our Indian friends, starting right here in Queens. As the Mumbai terrorist attacks make clear, we share a common enemy. I commend those of you who have gathered for this memorial, and I wish that we may come together in the future only to celebrate joyous occasions. Very truly yours, Rory I. Landsman. As Rabbi Penner said in introducing tonight's program, while many of us grieve, there is a personal connection to the loss that the Jewish world experienced, a family loss. And it is my honor to call Rabbi Avram Reich, the uncle of the Rebbetzin Rivka Holtzberg, Zichronah Livracha.
I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come, to express our pain, and to see to it that whatever blood was spilled was not spilled in vain. Rabbi Penner said very eloquently, from Rabbi Soloveitchik, Zichron Livracha, Keili, Keili, Lama Azaftani. Keili, Keili, my God, Lama Azaftani. The two ways of asking Lama, of expressing Lama. Lama can be why, and Lama means Lama, why, what, Lama, what. I always tell my students, a Jew never asks why, because you'll never get finished. Why? But why? Why? But why? A Jew is supposed to have emunah, belief, that whatever God does, makes on this world, is true. What we have to ask is, Lama, what does God want from us now? After these events, what does God want from us now? Lama, why? Keili, Kemi, Lama, Azaftani, why did you do this? What? What is the reason? What is that you want us to learn from this? My dear friends,
First of all, I think we have to see the greatness of the Jewish nation. The Holy Chazal teach us that Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bozeh. Every Jew is a guarantor for his brother, for his fellow Jew. That means whatever happens to one Jew, I have the responsibility of helping him. The Holy Baal Shem Tov explained that Arevim does not only mean guarantor. Anybody who knows Loshen Kodesh knows that Arevim also has the meaning Litarev, mixed together. The Jewish nation is one. Every Jew, every neshama, we're all one. Is there any way to explain with so many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of Jews all over the world were crying from all denominations? Everybody, men, women, children, teenagers, everybody was crying. My dear friends, this teaches us how great we are. Where do we see this with other nations of the world? They'll pick up the journal, they'll pick up the newspaper, and they'll say, well, how bad it happened. Oh, well, it's a shame, it's a shame. So much blood spilled. Then you turn the page and he eats his breakfast and goes further. Looks what the Wall Street did today. Where do we have such a country, such a nation, that feels a responsibility one for another? This is the greatness, how great we are. Kayli, Lamaz, Aftani, why did you make this? First of all, to show us how great we are. We're one neshama. We're like one body. Can a person say my finger hurts and not me? Can a person say my right hand's not me? Of course not. We're together, we're one. Baal Shem Tov also said, Kol Yisrael Arevim also means sweetness. Oh, what kind of sweet nation we are. Everybody was willing to give whatever he had to help these people. Everybody was crying and praying. What kind of sweet nation we are. Oh, what a beautiful nation we are. God is not ashamed of us. Let's go further. Gabi and Rifki went to the other end of the world with their extremists and terrorists. And Gabi was very, very aware of this. He never let anybody take pictures of him or make articles. Anything that was made was what he was not known of. If anybody called him up, any newspaper said, we want to make a write-up. You're doing such beautiful work. He had over 200 people. Every Shabbos at his table. You know what that is? He didn't go to Glatt Mart on Queens Boulevard or on Main Street to buy barbecue chicken and gefilte fish and challahs. He shechted it himself. You know what it is to shech 200 eifers? 200 chickens a week? Rifki didn't have any place where to buy the challahs. She used to bake it with her 2 hands. Every week. There was fresh bread for everybody that came to Mumbai every day. But my friends, where did they get the koyach to go to such a dangerous place? And my friends, we see it in this parsha. We see that when Yaakov met Esav, he hid Dinah, his daughter Dinah. He didn't want Esav to put his eyes on her. And God punished him for that. Why? Because Yaakov should have known that he had a great daughter Dinah, and she might have brought him back to tshuva. But my friends, let's look a little bit back a couple of weeks ago in the parsha. Remember we said that Leah was crying all the time? Why was she crying? Because she didn't want to marry Esau. People were saying that the two girls, Lavan has two girls, and Yitzchak has two sons. Leah will marry the older one, Esau, and she was crying and crying and crying. In her eyes, she cried her heart out until God listened to her prayers that she didn't have to marry him anymore. So why over here wasn't she punished for not marrying Esau? Maybe she should have. Maybe she should have got married to him. She would have changed him. Why? And the answer is because there's a difference. Yaakov knew the kaiches of his daughter, the power of his daughter Dinah. Normally a person, we say every day, Al tiviyeini lidei nisayon, a person has to pray, please God, don't bring me to tests. Because a person doesn't know when he'll withhold the test or not, whether we'll stand it or not. We have to pray to God that if the tests come, that we shouldn't withhold it. We can pass those tests. But a person himself has to be humble and say, Al tiviyeini, please don't give me any tests. Leah, she was a humble person. She was a Bas Yehuda. She was humble, and she felt, God, please don't give me the tests of marrying an Esau. I don't want the tests. However, over here in this parsha, we're talking about Yaakov. Yaakov would send Dinah. Yaakov knew the kaiches of Dinah. And he should have known better that she would have been succeeded because she was going in his shlichus. She was a messenger of her holy father Yaakov. My friends, when Gabi and Rivki went, they went with the shlichus of the Rebbe, of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. They didn't go in their own kaiches. They went with that holy tzaddik. That his whole life was to help other people in the world, Jews all over the world. Spiritually, in every way possible. When they went to Shlichus. And when I was in Israel by the Levaya, they said that when they shot Gabi and Rivki, they weren't shooting Gabi and Rivki. They were shooting the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That's why all the shlichim in the whole world say this day is like Gimel Tammuz does. Let's go further. The Gemara says in Shabbos, one time there was a day the Tinoki shel Beis Rabbi nechnasu leBeis HaMedrash v'amru chidushim shelo yishamu mimois Yeshua ben Nun. There was a day that the children from the Talmud Torah, young children, came into the Beis HaMedrash where the great scholars were sitting and learning. And they said such wonderful thoughts of Torah that they haven't heard this for over 2,000 years from Yeshua ben Nun. What was it? It was Aleph Bet Gimel Dalet. Aleph Bet means Aleph Bina. First thing is a person has to learn Torah. It's number one. If you don't learn Torah, you have no chance in this world. Barati Yetzer Hara, Barati Torah Tavlin. The only way to fight the Yetzer Hara is with Torah. And if we don't have Torah, even if we want to do righteousness, it's hard for us to do. The Pasuk says, Tzedakah teromim goy, v'chesed leumim chatas. Because they don't have Torah, they don't know how to do a mitzvah. They want to do, even when they want to do good, they don't know how to do it. But we, Baruch Hashem, have the Torah. So the first thing is we want to be good individuals and live lives of righteousness. It has to be Aleph Bina. First thing is we have to adhere to the Torah and the mitzvahs. Then Gimel Dalet. So they started saying, these small children started saying, Gimel Dalet, Gimel Dalet, Goimel Dalet. Goimel Dalet means Goimel, to give to the needy, to support the needy. So it was so great what they were saying. They were saying, you know, when you write the Gimel, the leg of the Gimel is going out to the Dalet. Lama regel shel Gimel zakuf ledalet. Why is the regel of the Gimel sticking out to the Dalet? So listen what they said. Because you know why? The Jewish nation is a holy nation. We don't sit home and say, listen, if anybody needs my help, let him knock on my door. Let him make my telephone call. No! Derech shel hagoymel lelechet achrei hadal. We have to go out. The regel of the Gimel is stretched out to the Dal. Our feet have to be stretched out to go search. Where is there a needy person in our community which needs help? Where is there almana, widow? Where are there orphans? Where are there sick people? The Jewish nation doesn't wait. The Jew doesn't wait till they knock on the door and say, what do you need? We have to search and go out. You know why? Because we're the children of God. And Hashem doesn't sit home to help us. He comes to everybody's home and everybody's heart. And He sees what every Jew needs. And Hashem gives us all what we need. Before we even ask, Hashem is here to help us. So we're the children of God. We have to emulate. We have to emulate Hashem. And we have to be like Hashem. We have to go out. Gabi and Rivki, they could have stood home, wherever they were, and said, listen, we want to help people, fine. They didn't do that. They went to the hardest place on earth, with not a piece of kosher bread or meat or anything to drink, to eat. A place of terrorism. They went out because they knew there were so many thousands of Jews that were coming to Mumbai in India. Either they were businessmen that came for business, they didn't have what to eat for weeks. They had to eat sardines and cold tuna and dry bread to give them a warm home. A warm home away from home. And maybe even more important, for the thousands and thousands of Israelis that graduate the army, that are trying to find themselves, unfortunately, instead of staying in Israel and finding their beautiful heritage there, unfortunately they go to India. And they open their hearts and their homes to help these people. And the stories are coming in by the thousands. My friends, not the hundreds, by the thousands. When I went to Menachel them, my brother-in-law and the Holzbergs, and my sister-in-law, there were barges and barges of letters that were coming in with people that went through their homes in Mumbai. How through the first taste of Shabbos, they tasted in their home. The first taste of Yiddishkeit, they tasted in their home. And how many were brought to Yiddishkeit because of that? And are, Baruch Hashem, having Jewish homes, building Jewish homes. Keli, lama azaftani. Let's start looking at ourselves. Are we also goymel dalim? Before we sit down and eat, are we caring about the poor people in our community? Lama azaftani. That's what Hashem is teaching us now. Take an example from them, from these tzaddikim, and the other tzaddikim that went there to bring kosher food, the mashgichim and the other people. It says, "Hengo alti eschem achris kereishis." It says God will redeem us at the end now, the time of Mashiach, as He chose us at the beginning. And there are different meanings in this. One meaning is that just like Avraham Avinu started the Jewish nation by giving chesed, by helping each person with Mesirat Nefesh, he waited outside. He went out to see who needed help. Even if it was painful for him, he waited outside to see who he could help. The same thing is today also. Before Mashiach comes, we'll have to go B'cha Chaisman. We say Mogen Avram. We say why B'cha Chaisman? Because Mashiach is going to come B'meir of Yameinu in the schus of going out and giving chesed, doing chesed with people. Gabi and Rivki brought Mashiach so much closer. Let's not lose it. Let's continue in their ways. However, there's another pshat I heard. I think I heard a pshat from the name of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Zechron Levracha. But a couple of weeks ago I heard it from a big Litvish Rosh Hashiva also. His name was Reb Shimon Shkop. Before the war, he was one of the greatest Rosh Hashivas in Lithuania, where all the great yeshivas were. And he said, Hein Goalti Eschem Achris Kereishis. Just like the Jewish nation, how did it start? With whom did it start? It started with Avraham Avinu, who had a father, Terach, an Oived Avodah Zarah, a person who worshipped idols. And God chose him to be the father of the Jewish nation. Even though he had to fight his own father when it came to religion. This will bring the schus of the Jewish nation before Mashiach. We have to be Mekarev all the Avram ben Terachs, all of our Jewish brethren who did not have a father, a Jewish father, or a father who didn't have the education to teach them. We have to see to it that they will become close to Judaism. We can't be comfortable in our homes. And you see, this is what Gabi and Rivki dedicated their lives for. To bring everybody, to give them a taste of Torah, of Shabbos. Everybody thinks that they were shluchim of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, which is true. Many people think that in order to go Kiruv, you have to be a Lubavitcher. But it's not true. It's not true. First of all, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was the Rebbe of the whole Jewish nation. Anybody that ever came into his Dalet Amos knew that he was the Rebbe of the whole Jewish nation, and he wanted everybody to help a fellow Jew. But let me tell you what was written almost 100 years ago by the Chafetz Chaim. Between the First and the Second World War, unfortunately, the sacrifices, the karbanis of the war, of course, like always with the Jews, and many hundreds of kehilot were uprooted all over Lithuania, Russia, and Poland because of the wars. There were many towns that had no more mikvahs, many towns that had no more Talmud Torahs, many towns that had no more synagogues. And there was a Vad HaYeshivot, a committee of all the great Torah luminaries of the generation that got together to decide what should be done. And it's printed in Chafetz Chaim al Torah by his Talmud, Rav Meir Greineman. This was written 60 years ago, right after the war. And he writes, the Chafetz Chaim got up and he said, we have to send in every town, Evrechim, 2 young men to rebuild the mikvahs, to rebuild the Talmud Torahs, to rebuild the shuls, to make shiurei Torah. And you know what he said? But there has to be one Tanai. These young men that go out to rebuild Torah in these towns are not allowed to take 1 penny of remuneration. even for the expenses that they have. Why? Because then people start saying they came here to make money. Where will they get paid? That's a different question. We'll have to see it with Gabi and Rivki. They never asked a penny from the hundreds and thousands of people that went through their homes. Never, ever. And they had a right to ask. But never asked for a penny. Ever. They were the emes shluchim of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Rav Shvab, Zochon Levracha, who was the Rav of Kahal Das Yeshurim, who was the true Raya Nemon for Klal Yisrael, writes in an article in the Jewish Observer that he was zocheh to be a Shabbos with the Chofetz Chaim. And by Shalashudis, he wrote what the Chofetz Chaim said. And among the things he said, and these are the words he said: my dear Jewish brethren, wake up! Let's go out and rebuild the mikvahs. Let's go out, all of us, and rebuild the shuls. Let's go out and rebuild the Talmud Torahs. This is our tafkid in this generation before Mashiach. This shlichus is a shlichus of Klal Yisrael. Keili, lemaz aftani, Rebbeinu Shalom, why did you take these sacrifices from us? It's to teach us all these things. These main principles of Judaism. I've called Yisrael alayim zeh. I just want to say one more thing. When I went to Menachem Avram, I was at the Levaya, then I went to Menachem Avram, the families, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and the Altsbergs. Talking about when they finally came in at the end, they found Rivki covered with a talus. But that's not the way she died. When they found her unconscious died, she had her hand on her sheitel. While she was dying, she made sure that she didn't die b'gilui raish. That's what was on her mind. She should die like a Jewish daughter. This is also what we have to learn. Tzniut. It's not a mitzvah to go dressed like the goyim. There's a special chain. A special chain that a Jewish daughter has when she goes dressed. Tzniut. If we want to have children, tzaddikim and tzidkonis like Gabi and Rivki, let's not forget about tzniut. Tzniut doesn't only be by the women, it's by the men also. When a Jewish man goes outside, why should we have to check, is he a Jew? Isn't he? The way he's dressed. One of the reasons that our Jewish nation was saved from Egypt is because we were recognized as Jews. There's so much I can talk, there's so much I can say, but the time is limited. And I think we have enough food for thought. May Hashem help us that the zechus of this karbanot went up to heaven. May Hashem help us that their zchut, we should do tshuva. And in their zchut, the Rebbeinu Shalom should bring Mashiach tzidkeinu b'meher v'yameinu amen.
Rabbi Reich, thank you for sharing your words with us, and please, on behalf of our entire community, to your brother-in-law and your sister-in-law, we hope that you bring our words of nechama as well. My neighbor across the street does not want me to tell you that it is because of him that we are gathered today, but I will. So, Rabbi Yerachmiel Zalmanov, representing Chabad as a movement and representing Chabad of Eastern Queens.
Has to be a few corrections. First, it's not because of me this evening is happening. We have partners for everything. Number one, all the shluchim of Chabad around the world are the same partners with me. Here in Queens, my brother also is a partner in that. The community itself is partner with that, the rabbis and everybody else. It's very hard for me to speak tonight, I'll be honest with you. I've been speaking many times before a bigger crowd, smaller crowd. It's very emotional to me to talk tonight. Since last week, I sleep very little. Not just me. 4,000 colleagues of mine, the same. I'll try to be brief and pass the message. Tonight is actually the last night of the Shiva for those Kedoshim. It's very hard for me even to mention their names. Not just the Rabbi Rebbetzin, also the others. I'll try. Rabbi Gavriel Noach and Rebbetzin Rivka. Ayeleb Tachelbaum, Litzion Kruman, Yochevet Arpaz, and Norma Schwarzblatt Rabinovich. Kedoshim, Kedoshe Elyon, Hashem Yikom Damam. It's not the first time that the Jewish people are suffering from terror attacks. But something amazing happened here that throughout the whole entire history of the Jewish people never happened before. We as Jewish people suffered in Israel, in the world, as mentioned before, Kol Yisrael Arivim Ze Lo Ze, that's true. We care. We like to know the news. We like to know whether we know the person or we don't know the person. We feel pain. We grieve. Not like all the others. I paid attention to this a couple years ago. It's very interesting. I'm sure everybody remember this plane, the Egyptian plane that crashed above Canada over there. It was with 400 passengers. How long it was in the news? Less than 1 day. How many Egyptians care for their brothers? 0. When something happened to the Jewish people, we do care. It's not just to be in the news. That's good for the politicians and it's good for us too, because we need the Goyim to recognize us. But the grief that each one of us has stays for long. At this time, this terror attack was something, it's amazing. We are amazed. I speak to my colleagues. We're trying to I don't know if it's the right word to comfort ourselves. But we all see one thing. Every single Jew. Did you ever heard of some terror attack that over 1,500 memorials already happened? I didn't. Maybe you do. But I didn't. And this is just in 1 week. Over 1,500. I know many are planning for the Shaloshim and so on. It's not because my colleagues, Rabbi Gavriel and his wife. No. It's because this terror attack woke up, gave us a wake up for all the Jewish people in the world to realize what is the purpose of a Jew in this world. We're just reading in the Torah portion about Yaakov and Esau. Everybody knows the phrase that Esau sonel Yaakov. Most probably it's a part of the brachot from Yitzchak to his son. We will most probably stop seeing that by the coming of the Mashiach. But everything in this world is upon us, the Jewish people. There's a famous joke that everybody knows. When there's two Jews, there's three opinions. I could tell you that. We experience this not just in shuls, not just in communities, throughout the world. When we have two Jews, there's three opinions. That's not bad, by the way. It shows that we have a Gemara cup. We're all trying to think different, like in the Gemara and the Talmud. But here, at this point, at this event, tragic event, happened in a house, in a place of true chesed ve'emet. A house not the rabbi and the rebbetzin gave themselves. Believe me, everybody is crying, myself too. I'm a part of it. For us, you might see the video soon, there's a little piece of it from Rivki that a person is asking her, you don't feel hard to do this? She said in Hebrew, zakef. It's a joy. Because we brought up by the Rebbe that it has to be natural. It's not a business that we make money out of it. It's natural to be part of Am Yisrael. And to be part of Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation, you got to give yourself, your family, to make sure that Am Yisrael chai v'kayim. We have a lot of questions after this event. As it's been mentioned over here, Keli Lama Hazaftani or Lema Hazaftani, we could explain and try to give explanations. I'm not here to give these explanations. Just want to share with you a thought and a story that happened a couple of years ago, 52 years ago. In 1956, Kfar Chabad, in the Holy Land, Israel. Actually, I grew up there. I'm coming from there. Myself, my brother, our parents are from the founders of this village. It was a school of kids. During the services of Arvit, Tfilat Arvit, Teos, Father Yun, came in to the sanctuary of the school and killed 5 students and their teacher. The same thing would happen today in Mumbai. The blood was on the open siddur. Those people then, the people that lived in the village in Kfar Chabad, did not know what to do. And they were waiting for orders or instruction, direction from the Rebbe, the one who actually founded and centered them. The Rebbe telegrammed them then a 3-word comfort telegram. 3 words. And this was the direction that the Rebbe gave him then. And from here, at this time, we at Chabad, all the Chabad Shluchim, Chabad emissaries around the world are taking the same thing. We like you to share it with you. Those 3 words of comfort was Be'emshech habinyan tenuchamu. Don't give up. Don't give up for a second. By continuing to build, you'll be comfort. It's hard. The other day I heard Rabbi Rosenberg, the father of Rivki, that I could say that he was like kind of my master. When I was younger, I was working with him in Israel when I started my Kiruv work. And he said a word. He said, we will continue. But he said something else. Don't feel for a second that it was not heard. Whoever will tell you it does not hurt him from a family is a bluffer. But he said, we, and I say the same thing, and all the Chabad colleagues, my colleagues, all the Chabad Shluchim, all the emissaries of the Rebbe, are saying the same thing. It's not just saying, it's actually what we're going to do and what we're doing. The terror is evil. It's something very bad. We have to fight it. But to fight terror, you could fight different ways. You could use the army, and you could use something else that every single Jew could be a part of it. And that's called light. Evil is darkness. A mitzvah is light. Goodness, kindness is light. We, the Jewish people, ma'aminim b'nei ma'aminim. We believe in God, and we believe this what God is doing to us has a purpose. But we shouldn't look why it is happening. We should look what could we do. It shouldn't happen again. That's what we have to do. Behemshech habinyan tenuchamu. Continue to go, continue to build. And I'm not talking about the Chabad houses, as the uncle said before. It's not a Chabad house that what makes it to be something special. That's true. I must tell you that Rabbi Gavriel and his wife Rivki were special people. In between the Chabad colleagues, between the Chabad work, I'm here in Queens, so many times people tell me, hey, big deal, you have no problems. You have kosher food. You have an easy place for chinuch of your children. That's true. Sometimes I feel jealous why I'm here and not there. But I'm here because the Rebbe sent me here. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe sent every shaliach, he knew where he sends each one. Most probably he knew where each one of us belongs to. But the work of the shalichut, the work of the Chabad rabbis all around the world, is not for kavod. We're not looking for this, believe me. It's not for ourselves. It's not even for the Rebbe. Some people think that we do it for the Rebbe. It's not. We're doing this pure lishma for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for God. That's what the Rebbe taught us. The Rebbe himself was never looking for kavod. The Rebbe always taught us that whatever we do is only for one thing, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and od milvado. Only for him. So it's not just us, those 4,000 rabbis around the world. It's each one of you. Each one of you, you have to encourage your family, your friends. Every single one of us has to do something to fight this evil, this darkness. We just, the Balatanya, the first Rabbi of Chabad, Rabbi Shneur Zalman Novladi, said that a Jew gave a direction, instruction to Jewish people, has to live his life with time. He did not mean the New York Times or something like that. He meant the time he has to live with a portion that we read in the Torah from this week. We take the Torah portion and we try to translate how we could relate ourselves and live with the message of this week's portion. Not only this, there is no mazal in our life, there is divine providence. Everything that happens is from up there. And therefore, we just read last Shabbat, and this week is doing the Shiva after the Kedoshim. The story of Yaakov. That Yaakov Avinu left Be'er Sheva. Vayetze Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva vayelech Harana. He left Be'er Sheva, the town of Be'er Sheva, and the commentator is telling us that Be'er Sheva meant a very calm and peaceful place. And where did Yaakov go? Harana, to Haran. Rashi, a lot of commentators saying, Haran af shel olam. In Hebrew we say, Hamakom achin namuch ba'olam, not Yam HaMelach. Means, Hamakom, the lowest shebelowest, in spirit, most probably also in physical, in this world. That's where Yaakov left, went to. On his way, he stops in Har HaMoriah, the holy place, Har HaMoriah in Yerushalayim. What did Yaakov did besides the dreams and everything that we read? He prayed to God. What did he pray to God? For what? What did he want? He says, God, please protect me. I know that I'm going to a bad place. Protect me that I should be able to come out from there spiritually strong. And the evil or the devil, I should not fall for it. When he finished, when he comes out from Haran, again the Torah tells us, Im Lavan Garti, Yaakov Avinu comes to tell his brother, I lived with my brother, with Lavan. And Rashi says, what is Garti? V'taryag mitzvot shamati. And I kept, the word Garti, switched. I kept 613, the whole Torah I kept there. In such a place. Because I was proud to be what I am. This is what Gabi and all other Chabad houses around the world, whether it's Mumbai, Nepal, Russia, you name it. That's what we are doing. We want in the Haran. By the way, New York is also Haran. In the Haran, to bring the Garti, to bring the Taryag Mitzvot. We want every single Jew, it's not we obligate for every one of us to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem. The way how we do it is by doing acting of goodness and kindness, mitzvah. Every mitzvah that we do brings more light to the world. And if we will bring a lot of light, look at this camera. If he will open up the projector, you'll be blind. You imagine if, look, 10 terrorists, 10 or 15, made such a mess in the world. 10 evil people made such a mess in the world. You imagine every single Jew makes one mitzvah. Millions of Jewish people. One good thing. It's not hard. Because also in the morning when you wake up and you see your neighbor and you smile to him, it's a mitzvah. One good thing. You know which kind of change we could do in the world? It will be such a strong projector that the evil won't be able to see anymore. He will get blind. That's the message. That's exactly what we need to do now. I mentioned before, I'm not going to tell stories about Gabi and Rivki. What is the house was all about? It's not just Gabi and Rivki. The house was open, and this is every single place like that. The house was open to everyone. When you come to the door, nobody checked if you Haredi, Modern Orthodox, if you Satmar, Belz, Vishnitz, Chabad, whatever you are, Ashkenaz, Fard, if you come with short sleeves, short pants, or with tzitzit outside. He did not. He looks at your soul and your neshama. And this neshama, we all equal. Every single one of us. When he makes a mitzvah, you don't have to be Moshe Rabbeinu. In a mitzvah that I do, you do, and every single one of us, we are equal. We are the same. We don't have to be Chachamim, Rabbanim, everybody the same. Tzibur stands for the word Tzadikim, Beinonim, and Reshaim. Let's consider that we are Reshaim. So all of us will do mitzvot, will be maybe closer to the tzaddikim sometime. But we could do without Reshaim, the tzaddikim cannot stand up. The Beinonim, we have to be together, united. And that's exactly what Gabi did in his Chabad house. I'm sure some of you traveled around the world and visit Chabad houses. I'm sure some of you also saw it. I just want to make it very clear. There are some Chabad houses that serve a different community. They have to go based on this one that says in the community. So you might see different things in every single Chabad house. But the goal is to make sure that every Jew gets closer to Hashem. Like Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu had an eshel. He built a place of eating and sleeping for people to eat and sleep. For one reason. Also, he did not charge money. When people wanted to pay, he says, no, thank God. If they didn't want it, he had to argue with him, gave them a big, high bill, so they had no choice. And they, thank God. He was forcing them in a nice way, with a smile. I just wanted to share with you a little story that I heard not long ago. In Williamsburg, there's Satmar Hasidim there. In the eyes of many, many Jews, the Satmar Hasidim are anti-Zionist, hate Jewish haters. That's not true. Not true at all. There's a newspaper that comes out of there called Der Eid. And the founder of this newspaper, I forgot his name. What's his name? No, one before that. The founder of the newspaper was looking, and he got close to the Rebbe. And you have to understand, the people in Williamsburg, they have their mind, their thoughts, their way, and they said to the founder, how come you go to the Lubavitcher Rebbe and you talk to the Rebbe in Eastern Parkway? He's a Zionist, he's, So the guy turned back to him and says, you think you're radical, right? What are we doing to be radical? We taking rocks if we see a car drives on Shabbat in Yerushalayim. We say to him, go away from here, not here. If you want to go somewhere, go to Yafo, to Tel Aviv, to your home. Don't bother us. Says to them this person, but the Lubavitcher Rebbe comes with a smile to those people and tells them, also not in Yafo. So who is more radical? That's the way I looked at it. Avraham Avinu did not force nobody, but with a smile, he brought God and godliness to people. That's the work of every Jew supposed to be. Tonight, we're sitting here, and we shouldn't have grief. Actually, as I said, we cannot bluff ourselves and not have grief, but we have to take results. And the result from an event like that is that we have to take upon ourselves a good resolution. Some people take a resolution in New Year, but we will take the resolution tonight, because I'm sure that the will of Gabi and Rivki and all the other Kedoshim that were with them at this time, that's what they want from up there. That's how they want us to act at this moment. I suggest that each one of us should take upon himself a good resolution of light, doing a mitzvah. Some of us sit over here and said, what he wants from my life? I already do enough mitzvah. No. My friend, I want you to know, even there is mitzvah that we do, including myself, there is ways to do a mitzvah, and there is way to have a mitzvah behidur, to do it a bit better that we taught. If we don't put on tefillin every day, we'll start to put on tefillin every day. But if we do put on tefillin every day, we'll take a hidur. We shouldn't talk during the time that we put on tefillin. We just say the words of prayers. That's called hidur. If we light candles every Friday for Shabbat, then I'm sure that you do, there's an extra. If you have children that could say the blessing, let them say the bracha with you. Another candle, another light. Not only this, make them to say the bracha and light the candles before you. We'll bring more light. If we go to Shurei Torah, we're learning. It's not enough. We think, once a week we come to a class with a rabbi. We'll be Yotzei Yedei Chovah. It's not. The obligation of learning Torah, by the way, is 24 hours 7. So we should take upon ourselves something extra that we could do. Not to take upon myself, I'm going to do something, but I know that tomorrow I'll forget about it. Something that we could do. Easy. Something should be easy, but extra. Extra will bring more light to this world. You know, I mentioned this before, you wake up in the morning, you leave your house, and you see your neighbor. You always used to say good morning to him. And you leave. Have a small talk with him. Let him feel that you're part of him. That's a mitzvah of love your fellow Jew. And so on. I could go with many, many mitzvot. We should think for ourselves what we could do. Now we are in the months of Kislev. In the Chabad movement, Kislev is called Chag HaGeulah, the month of redemption for the whole Hasidic movement. Besides being Chag HaGeulah, it's also the month of light that we're going to celebrate Hanukkah soon. So the idea of light and Geulah, in one word I could say it. It's called peace. If we will be in peace between us and united, starting from the family and on, community, shul, friends, and so on, we will bring the Geulah. Achdut, this was going to bring the Geulah. Bringing light to this world with the candles of Hanukkah will bring the Geulah. Will bring light of the Geulah, closer to the Geulah, faster. I wish that each one of us will take upon himself something, and with this we will be able to fulfill the will of this my colleague Rabbi Gabi Gavriel Noach and his wife Rivka, and have them in our mind that they fulfilled their shlichut in this world, and we will do so too. We will bring more light, and we will have such a strong light that will be able to show the light to the Mashiach. Because the Mashiach is here. We just have to open up the eyes and show him the direction, where to come. With our mitzvahs, with our good light, we will bring him, and we will show him the right way. And he will do Yekab Betzit Cheisel, bring all of us together, and he will build the Beit HaMikdash Ashlishi, Amen. Not speedily, tonight, and from here we will go to Yerushalayim, Amen. Thank you very much. We have one more speaker. I would like to ask a dear friend, a member of the shul, member of the community, a city representative, David Reppen, to share with us some of his thoughts.
Distinguished Rabbanim, friends and neighbors, we come together
tonight as New Yorkers, fellow human beings, and Jewish people to affirm our conviction in faith and decency. Just like the United States on September 11, 2001, India did not seek or provoke an assault on its freedom and way of life. They did not expect or invite a confrontation with evil. For years, Chabad has provided many services to Jews who are like fish out of water. These young couples, like Gabi and Rifki Holtzberg, who moved to remote areas in order to establish an oasis for Jews, and as you have heard, have an open door policy. They simply represent the epitome of true Yiddishkeit by providing others in need of the right derech. And for what we witnessed in Mumbai over the last few days reminds us that there are those who choose to challenge us as Americans and Jews by intimidating and killing innocent people who believe in democracy and freedom. We as a city and as a nation denounce the evildoers who devised and executed such terrible attacks on the citizens of India and its guests. We now understand more than ever that the mitzvah to enjoy life and experience the wonders of the world has to be done with the awareness of the dangers that await just around the corner. As long as the evils of the world continue to exist, we must be vigilant and we must come together to defeat those who choose to deny us a peaceful and meaningful way of life. So we gather here tonight to pray for healing and for the strength to serve and encourage one another in faith and hope, and for the unfortunate losses that have been perpetrated on an innocent nation and our people. In closing, may we all pray that Hashem provide us with the power and strength to transcend these senseless acts of violence that violate the fundamental tenets of humanity. We pray for healing and for the strength to serve and encourage one another in hope and faith. Yehi Zichron Baruch.